Is a carnivore diet bad for you? Is it the dumbest diet in the world? Will it rot your colon, your liver, your arteries, cause brain damage? Some people think that. To be honest, I'm embarrassed to admit that I used to think that too. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to think better, because I've learned through my mistakes and faulty thinking that we're all susceptible to confirmation bias. We're all susceptible to being closed down and shut down and not learning from people and holding on tightly to our beliefs and only seeking out information that we already know and confirming what we already know. So welcome back. It's Mike Mutzel. I've been making online content since 2010. I started this YouTube channel in 2014. And I started this YouTube channel really after self-publishing a book called Belly Fat Effect, which was all about the microbiome, how dietary foods that we eat, how they impact the bacterial diversity and the gut hormones by way of the microbiome, and how those gut hormone interactions and gut bacterial interactions with the food that we eat affects blood sugar and body composition. So with that as a context, I'm not promoting my book at all. I'm just telling you my biases. So everything that I saw was related to the microbiome, the food, the lack of polyphenols, the bacterial diversity, the dietary fiber. Okay, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. So when the carnivore diet started to take off, and this was, I think, really, maybe there was and Amber O'Hearn talks about it in a recent interview that her and I did. And by the way, I want to thank Dr. Sean Baker. We've had him on the podcast before, Dr. Paul Saladino, Dr. Ken Berry, Amber. Even my wife has been a big influence for me, because she, for many months, almost 9 months, did eating one meal a day, so a compressed feeding window, mainly carnivore. It was about 90% carnivore. She experienced great results in terms of losing body fat. Not that she was overweight before, but she was trying to see how far she could push her body naturally.
But the muscle, look at it. Wow.
Yes.
Which, is this the core muscles we're looking at?
Yeah, so these are the oblique muscles. So that's muscle of the core, but here's the oblique kind of going from here. It's 2.3 centimeters, so that's, that's just under an inch worth of oblique muscles. And you don't see that except in teenagers and high-performance athletes.
She started to get striations in her shoulders, triceps, got stage ready without any cardio. So anyway, all these things, all these people have had an influence on me. And, I want to help you think better, because look, when the carnivore diet started to take off is where I was going. When Dr. Sean Baker was on Joe Rogan's podcast, it was in the summer of 2017. I remember starting to see the comments on my YouTube page. Hey, check out this guy, Dr. Baker. Check him out. Anyway, so I watched part of that interview. And to be honest, I thought, okay, this guy's big. He's jacked. He's strong. He's been on a carnivore diet, 0 plant diet, no polyphenols. He says his blood work is good, but give him a few months. He's just going to fall off the map. Then I started to follow him on Instagram. And I'm like, wow, this guy's super strong. How is he maintaining all this strength for a long period of time with no polyphenols, no bacterial diversity, from lack of fiber and stuff? So I was kind of intrigued, but also my biases were sky high. I couldn't see through I couldn't get out of my own way. I'm embarrassing to admit. I thought, there's no way this is possible. And then other people started to get benefits too. And it was taking the internet by storm. And I thought, these people are all full of crap. Give them a few more months. They're going to fall apart. But they didn't. Their health only improved. They got more vital. They lost more body fat. Their blood sugar improved. Their visceral adipose tissue decreased. So then I'm like, crap. Well, and in between seeing all these beneficial results, I kind of started to jab at the carnivore people, on Twitter. I remember someone looped me into a tweet. I don't know how it happened with Sean Baker and with Amber O'Hearn. And I started to get vicious, not vicious, but I was just overreactive. And I started to, honestly, it's embarrassing. I started to attack them with the semantics. I'm like, well, if you're not really doing the killing, because I kill my own animals. We have, we used to have pigs or in our freezer, we used to have turkeys. We eat them. We have chickens. When they stop laying eggs, we cook them. And I'm like, you're really like scavengers, right? So again, my biases were preventing me from seeing the benefits, from learning new information. So again, this video is not about me. This video is about an example, an embarrassing example, how I let my own biases get in my own way of an eating strategy that can help people. And I think we make this mistake all the time. Vegans make this mistake all the time. People who identify with different political parties, they make the mistake of not hearing beneficial policies that can be made by other political parties. And I see this with this virus pandemic and our responses. We're making a lot of erroneous identity-based, religious-based arguments that prohibit us from hearing what other people have to say. And I'm embarrassed to admit that I would have agreed with all the people that have negatively commented on some of the excellent videos that we've done with Sean Baker, Paul Saladino, Ken Berry, Amber, other people who have experienced great results with the carnivore diet. So why did I think it was such a dumb idea? Well, because the lack of polyphenols, the lack of fiber, based upon all the research, and I've read probably 2,200 articles about gut bacterial diversity, different gut bacterial, phenotypes and different patterns in different bacteria, gut hormones called the incretins, GLP-1, CCK, all these different hormones and how food interacts with them and all that. So when we get biased, and it prohibits us from advancing as people. And so I just want you to, avoid that mistake. I know some people that are like, no, I would never do CrossFit slop. People that are like powerlifters and bodybuilders call CrossFit slop. I had a hair in my face. So they'll just say, I would never do that. But if you never do it, you don't know how it is. And I'm not saying you should do CrossFit. I don't do it. But when I do periodically have a friend go, hey, let's do some CrossFit, I'll be like, yeah, come on, give me a break. And then I do it afterwards and I feel great. I'm like, man, why did I have these biases? Why did I have these preconceived notions about what CrossFit is or what it would be like or how I would feel after I do it? So I guess the point of this video is whatever your dietary beliefs are, have a little bit of an open mind, okay? I know some of you who are diehard carnivores are going to be like, all right, I hear you, but I'm still going to pick on my vegans. And look, I get it. There's some egregious vegans out there, 100%. But I think, obviously the extremes on both sides, we want to filter that out, but there could be some benefits to periodic carbohydrate cycling for athletes, for example. I know some people do quite well athletically on a carnivore diet, but some of those people are closed-minded and they might compromise their performance by not having the open-mindedness to maybe try some gut-friendly carbohydrates intra-workout or post-workout. I personally have found that really optimizes, at least for me, sports performance. I can do well on a carnivore diet, strict carnivore, zero plants for a long time. But if I sprinkle in some like dried mangoes or fresh fruit intra-workout, I get a better pump and I have a better workout. That's just me. Again, I know some of you are like, whoa, polyphenols. But look, that's just how it is. So, I think we can do better as a society to be a little bit more open-minded and realize there's what what's the saying, what you don't know. And so I guess this video is partly to let you all know that I make mistakes. It's embarrassing to admit. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I've had so many friends, even going back to 2017, who were doing OMAD carnivore and it really improved their health. But stubborn Mike, I was still stuck on my polyphenols. I was still stuck on my backyard gardens. I was still stuck on the bacterial diversity. Like it took me forever to even open up my mind to this idea. So I don't know where we go from here. I don't know. I'm proactively trying to figure out how can we speak to that person who's so closed-minded about a particular topic. How can we get them to be ready? Is it time? Is it something that we say? Is it examples? I don't know. I'm not an expert in this area. If you know how to conversate with people who are really closed-minded, let me know and comment below, please. But just realize that, sometimes we make mistakes and sometimes our biases get in the way of progress. So I want you to learn from my mistakes because I wish I would have not had such a closed mind because it would have been way easier because back then I was traveling a lot. I could have avoided a lot of gastrointestinal distress by just going straight carnivore and not having these monster salads and bringing them on airplanes and stuff like that like I was doing for years and wondering why I felt like I had a brick in my stomach. So anyway, friends, is there any particular topic that you're closed-minded about? Let me know below. I'll be following your comments. But I feel like right now people are even more polarized, even more religious about diet and nutrition. And I feel like that's not going to lead to progress. So that's why I wanted to make this video. And I want to thank Sean Baker for being really consistent in posting his physical fitness and performance videos, just one-off Instagram deadlifts, for example. and really kind of instilling in me that, gosh, my biases are getting in my own way, because here we have this individual that's really thriving on a particular way of eating, and he has people that are following his dietary strategies, getting results. And for whatever reason, I let my biases prevent me from being open-minded about learning more about that. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I don't know what your biases are. I'm sure you have some. So just keep that in mind. Learn from my mistakes. And hopefully we can all have more open mind. So thanks for tuning all the way in. I'm grateful that you're still here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. The link below will be links to some of the videos that I would recommend learning more about this carnivore diet if you're so inclined. And also, if you want to learn how the art and science, especially for women eating one meal a day, mainly carnivore, we have a great program, e-course for you. That's only $27 that a lot of people have enjoyed. So we'll catch you on a future video down the road. Appreciate you tuning in. Bye now.